I would like to be reelected so I can help with the repeal of Obamacare and replacing it with a plan that is more patient-centered. My concerns about Obamacare for Wyoming specifically are that it will limit our access to physicians. Right now, every time a Medicare patient walks into a doctor's office in Wyoming, that doctor is losing money. And so fewer and fewer doctors are willing to take Medicare patients. Obamacare is based on that same model where they reduce the manner in which the doctor is reimbursed. And that will limit our ability to get a doctor who's willing to see us, to treat us. I'm very concerned about that, which is the main reason that I want to repeal Obamacare and replace it with a system that does not limit the compensation to doctors to the same extent that Obamacare does. That is the central theme of Obamacare. If you go away from the notion that physician reimbursements are going to be reduced, you have eliminated and gutted the central provision of Obamacare. That's how Obamacare alleges that it's going to save money, and I believe that it is not realistic that physicians will continue to see patients that they lose money on. Nobody can feed their own family if they're losing money every day at work. But that's not the only reason I'm running. I also want to work to restore Wyoming's abandoned mine lands monies that we lost in the bill that extended transportation and infrastructure funding. That money was provided under the Surface Mining Control and Reclamation Act in 1977, which has been updated since then, to states that needed to both reclaim mines that had been abandoned and to provide additional infrastructure funding to those states that have certified that they have completed their funding. Now, Wyoming pays more than every other state combined into the abandoned mine lands monies. And so it's appropriate that Wyoming receive the most money back. Our coal is taxed at a higher rate under the AML tax than coal back east. And it is important that Wyoming's rights be considered along with states that still have abandoned mine lands that still need to be cleaned up. That's why the program was designed in a way that tied the states that have are certified with the states that are uncertified as to the cleanup of abandoned mine lands. And it never was limited to the purpose of cleaning up abandoned mine lands, which is why it is particularly offensive that the senior senator of Montana chose to take Wyoming's money at the 11th hour in a bill that he was serving on the conference committee for without discussing or informing the Wyoming congressional delegation. There has been a delicate compromise over the years as to how the abandoned mine land monies would be used. We are subsidizing not only abandoned mine land cleanups in the East, we are subsidizing the pensions of the United Mine Workers Combined Benefits Fund. And the reason we're doing it is because when coal mines went out of business back east and their mine workers were out of work and their pensions were at risk, the West Virginia delegation came to the Wyoming delegation and said, will you allow us to use some of the AML monies to compensate United Mine Workers who have lost their jobs and their pensions are at risk? And we said yes. That was part of the delicate compromise. So what is happening is one senator who was not privy to or part of those negotiations have decided that all bets are off, that the deal that was made in 2006 to provide for the extension of AML monies will no longer be honored, and that Wyoming would be the big loser in that regard. Wyoming would be better off if the abandoned mine land tax went away, because then our coal would have a lower tax, making it more economically competitive. And quite frankly, Wyoming could put a tax at the state level on that coal and use it for whatever it wanted and be money ahead. There's really no incentive for Wyoming to support the extension of the AML tax, which falls disproportionately hard on Wyoming coal, when we could just say we're not going to support this anymore. The tax would go away at the federal level. Wyoming could tax it at the state level and use it for whatever we wanted.